I'm really bad at talking to people on Twitter, which is unfortunate because it's kind of all I do. I sort of professionally complain on Twitter. I love the service. I think it's going to be remembered as the most important communication tool of our time, but I keep running into this issue, and I'm making this video to ask for help. How am I going about this wrong? And how can I do better in the future? Oh, and please don't try and track people in these screenshots down on Twitter. The whole point of this is that they didn't do anything horribly wrong, and they shouldn't be harassed. I tried to censor out the names, but I know the internet is crafty. About once a month, I'll get in an exchange that goes like this. I see a tweet about something political. In this case, it's about Joe Kennedy III doing the Democrats' response to the State of the Union a few weeks ago, if you guys remember. The tweet suggests that a non-white, non-male person may have been a better choice to make the speech. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think Joe did fine, and I'm not big on diversity for diversity's sake, like enforced or legislated diversity. They wanted to give Joe some national attention, and while I roll my eyes at the idea that the only people fit to run for office on the left have the name Kennedy or Clinton, it's not like Joe did a bad job or anything. So I look at the top comment at the time, and I see this person, as I read it, claiming that white males on Twitter wouldn't have responded well to a non-white, non-male giving the speech, drawing parallels to the hashtag Never Hillary stuff that came about, especially after Bernie Sanders lost in the Democratic primary. I asked for clarification. Is this why you think Hillary lost? And this was my first mistake. From here, things go downhill immediately, and I can't help but wonder how I could have better approached this person. I don't know them. They don't know me. For this one tweet, I assume they're probably left-leaning, but view Bernie as a spoiler of the last election. I really, really want to know more about people who think like this, because these people's votes make or break progressive candidates. The left has a habit of cannibalizing their own, infighting, protest votes. As we saw with the Roy Moore thing, Republicans will join together and vote for pretty much anybody, as long as they have an R in front of their name. Apparently the only thing worse than being a pedophile is having a D in front of your name on a ballot. Seriously, that guy should have been crushed, not barely lost by like 1,000 votes. So, this fracturing within the Democratic Party is a massive problem strategically. I'm not saying that the Dems should be a monolithic entity that does whatever party leadership says, but at the end of the day, we vote on stuff, and somebody's gonna win. Consensus building is a weakness on the left right now, and people who probably agree on 95% of the issues sometimes end up at odds over insignificant and occasionally imagined differences. Here's the response to my question. I didn't mention Hillary. I addressed the parallels I thought he was drawing to the 2016 election and try to start conversation by talking about the kind of candidate I would like to see. The response? I didn't mention Bernie either. And then he calls my argument, what are we arguing about? A straw man, and dismisses me. I try to be a pacifist. I still think we can have a conversation. That would be my second mistake. He calls me a neckbeard, or rather, uses neckbeard as a verb. I try and say everything I'm saying in this video in a tweet, or rather two, in which I try to appeal to their Australianness. Yeah, their profile says that they're Australian, and I'm like, hey, I've been to Australia, I know a couple of your beers, let's make a little beer reference, see if we can be friendly friends. Blocked. This conversation was not unique. I have an exchange that goes more or less the same way about once a month. Someone has a point, I ask for clarification on something or for more information, and I am identified as an enemy or a troll, and conversation shuts down before it can start. This is usually really easy stuff too. I'm not jumping in to be contrarian on abortion or religion or the Holocaust or anything like that. I wanted a more fleshed out version of their views and can't seem to get anything of substance started. You see this constantly in comment threads. Someone makes a point, someone replies to that point with anything but LOL, and the original commenter is immediately on the defensive. How do you approach people in a way that they don't assume bad intentions? I've tried being funny, tried being direct, I'm pretty much never sarcastic about serious issues anymore, and I'm still hit with a brick wall regularly. How would you have gone about this? Let me know in the comments. I mean, like, it's really important that we kind of get past this if we're gonna get any kind of momentum going in our, like, to quote Bernie, his political revolution. If we're gonna keep this kind of thing going, if we're gonna keep this blue wave that's supposed to come about in the next couple of months, like, we're gonna have to talk to each other and Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this brand new, totally original segment, Mailbag. I've taken some screenshots ahead of time of comments that I liked either because they were helpful or they were thoughtful, and I wanted to comment on some of them now. First we have Orthoplex64, who he just left some like genuinely practical information, like, hey, maybe you should put this in your title, maybe you should put this here. I like that. Thanks for helping me. I'm very new to this, so genuinely helpful stuff is great. Don't assume that I know. I probably just am completely ignorant to what you think I should change, so let me know. That kind of follows to, I just call her Allie. It's Alikuja. You're talking about audio-video synchronization being off? Yeah, the joke I made at the beginning of the first episode about, hey, audio drift, that's a thing that I didn't realize was a thing. That's based on real life. I didn't realize that was a thing. And I've switched my stuff from the like 44.1 to 48 kilohertz, so it should be good now. Should. All right, last one I got is Adidave. ADA Dave? We got to get these names under control. He talks about how throwing insults out counts for like politicians as well, and I mean, the culture of it being publicly acceptable to just be totally nasty to each other, and it's not that having different ideas is bad, it's not that disagreeing is bad or new or somehow hurtful, it's just how you get it across. You can do it without being a jerk, basically, and since we've had people in very high power positions, governors and senators and presidents, saying pretty much whatever they want at all times, it seems to some people now to be acceptable to do that in like the grocery store. People feel real brave now, and they're just running up with their nothing to say. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just start literally throwing mud at people, because you're saying about as much as if you run up and just curse at somebody for 5 minutes. So yeah, please leave some comments down on this thing. Tell me, this one is straight up asking for help, so please leave some comments, and I'll put ones that are especially thoughtful or funny in future videos, and we'll keep that going as a recurring segment. This whole situation would not be possible without people helping me out on Patreon. I couldn't afford such wonderful items as this. I bought this in college. This is a plunger, and you use it for brass instruments. I thought I was going to use it with my trombone a lot, but it turns out it's really hard to effectively use the thing, and it's just been kind of hanging out ever since. But hey, it only costs like $5. And if you want to put $5 towards ooh, the synergy. If you want to put $5 towards my Patreon, I'll say your name like this. Here we go. Special thanks to Fur, Brendan Fancy Fox, Omega, Dead Peacat, Dead Peacat, Andrew Corvin, Matthew B, Sully, Ricardo Hompus, Ethan Long, Brexton, Fox Amore, Neox, Ty Husky, Bubbles the Fennec, Strontium, Silverwolf, Routes Clamar, Webster Leone, Ruth, Jacob Stellato, Elizabeth Melanson, Silver Gatomon, Wheelie, Blue Gray Fox, Bryant Holmes, Musical Husky, Petrov Neutrino. And Petrov, I'm sorry I doubted you last week. You were a real guy. We even talked in the messages. I should not have joked about you being a Russian bot. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see you next time. What are we gonna do next? Oh yeah, I forgot I have this on now, don't I? I was gonna play you a song to be a special, but I can't. Hold up. I'll put this. I'm doing the guitar solo. Do you get?